Hello everyone, so come take invest. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development for today's items only. Name as one gun talk today will be Ethereum ETH. This is my second posting as of today. Respect to recording time of 3:07 p.m. on Eastern Time. Ethereum current trading $4,165, up about 6.18% so far. Respect to overall crypto market, beside Algorand and Shiba Inu, seems like Algorand is kind of just flat on a sideways fashion, down about 0.33%, while Shiba Inu, it seems like with respect to the imminent sell-off they were expecting is in full effect at the moment, down about 14.51%. And on the other side of the spectrum, with respect to the equity side, it seems like the sector rotation is still enduring, right? With respect to more prominently displayed by the high cap, high growth, and high tech stocks, right? With Tesla leading the effort up about 3.14% so far, dragging up all the EV stocks to go up, but also on the coinbase up about currently 1.04%, and some other rebound that we are also seeing on the tech stocks with respect to Facebook seems like with respect to negative earnings that we saw I think a couple of days ago. It seems like it's reviving slowly, and I think Facebook in a technical front is a dip. So I think if you want to buy some Facebook or incur some risk right now to dollar cost average, I think the current level of trading around like the 314, 312 is not a bad level to incur some risk at right now. But with respect to the main topic of discussions, with respect to Ethereum, let's look at the news real quick, shall we? With respect to the first one, CNBC, 1 hour ago, talked about the alt stare upgrades that happened on Wednesday and went live yesterday, technically. And with respect to the the mining of Ethereum, it seems like as we are further progressing on the recent upgrade ever since the London fork and now this Altair, we're stepping away from basically the mining activities that we used to have, right? So slowly becoming more obsolete as we evolutionize Ethereum as a value proposition going forward, and at the same time further improving upon the value proposition or the lack thereof that we're still currently trying to fix, right? The gas fee and the high transaction cost that we've been trying to fix, right? And it seems like it's getting one step better than the previous times that we've been frankly having some hiccups on, right? So next one's on Bitcoin is about 2 hours ago. Talk about Ethereum DeFi protocol Cream, and it's basically a cash rule everything around me. Like the Wu-Tang song. Cream Finance succumbed to 130 million flash loan hack. So it seems like there's something fishy going on with 130 million of flash loan hack. So it seems like more cybersecurity issues, but this time instead of I think historically on Binance or in Coinbase, it's like a accumulations of about like 7 million, but this time this is about 130 million, which is that's a lot of money. That's basically lost into thin air that we have no tracking of right now. So hopefully they will be able to recuperate in the future. This is something that is definitely not the best news, right? But it's something that we've been experiencing, and it seems like the cases has not really subsided. It seems like it's still occurring every now and then, like every once or twice per month, I think. Right? It's like the fourth occasion that we've seen in the last 2 months so far. So yeah, it's technically like twice per month now, which is not a joke to be around, right? And this is also incentivizing why the Feds and the SEC are enforcing some regulatory dynamics, right? Some infrastructure around the cybersecurity to further protect the lack thereof security infrastructure that we need to have in place for crypto exchanges going forward. So next one is our Bazinga 3 hours ago. Talk about 168.28 million in Ethereum was just transferred from 2 wallets. So it seems like there's more whale activities that's going on, right? Interesting. I don't know why this would be considered news. I mean, they are large amount of exchange, but this could be just someone's changing the wallet, or maybe changing or exchanging from one holding to another holding. But why is this a news? I don't quite understand, but I do understand this is a large amount, and that translates into a news, but it's not really a news that's substantive in terms of either like a macro or micro perspective. So it's just a just a name drop of a big number as a clickbait, if you may, in my opinion. And then that's pretty much it on the news front. It's a little bit less active than the morning time frame. So let's just dive right into it, shall we? Right now it's trading at the 4,165, up about 6.22%. And with respect to the current level right now, let's take a look. We're fusing together, which is relatively abnormal. We are being led up because of the Bitcoin drag effect right now, but Bitcoin is currently down below 60K right now, which is not a good thing because the 60K was a relatively monumental level to hold, and we broke that. We're basically like $300 away from here right now. And on top of the Ethereum right now, the current sustained level is really mainly driven by because of the one key news that we've heard today, right? That a lot of business schools or the educational system in America with respect to tuition, which is a relatively sizable amount, that if students are incentivized to use Bitcoin and Ethereum to transact for their tuitions going forward, this would translate into a relatively sizable surging pressure for Ethereum and Bitcoin respectively. And I think this is one of the reasons why we're seeing some sort of buying pressure today, up about 6% right now, with Bitcoin up about 2.17%. So right now, this is a good level to buy at right now. I think we're just still trending away, right? We broke it because of the upward wedge, but we got canceled out because of the Bitcoin drag effects, right? And the positive news we've been hearing so far. Right now, we still at 62 out of 70, and I think the bearishness is still going to be sustained because the current level is really not sustainable, right? The real level that we should technically have is basically at the 3475. And with respect to the next level, if we break that, will be 3150, which is the level that we kept talking about, right? So something to watch for, and I think we could technically see some sell-off if we don't have a lot of active news coming on Friday and Saturday. So something we have to watch out for. So with respect to Bitcoin, right now, we are at the 55 out of 70. And MACD right now, we crossed downward at the moment. We are below 60, right, which is not a good sign. And again, right, with respect to the current level, this is not sustainable. We're basically levitating again, right? The real level should technically be matching with the 52 or the 53, depending on how close you want it to be, and respectively 48 and 43, right? So I think Bitcoin should be enduring some selling pressure. I wouldn't be surprised. So something to watch out for, right? And I think the weekend, if again, right, no positive news. It doesn't even need to be negative news, but just like no positive news, which technically indicate some sell-off because the current level is mainly being sustained by public investors, right? Dogecoin right now is up about 30%. We are very, very dragged up. We're at 66 out of 70, so we know what that means. And right now, we're basically, as we got there today, right, you could see that we match with the candle of 30 cents. Right now, we basically try to sustain, do we stay above 30 cents or go below 30 cents? And above 30 cents has no substance, right? And if we break below 30, we have a long way back down to basically where we were before, the 25, the 23, and respectively the 20 cents from here, right? Respect to Cardano, right now, we are at the 38 out of 70, so I think Cardano is not a bad buy right now. Again, right, we broke the $2. I know this morning we were above at 201, 203, but it seems like we broke it, right? So technically, we should be selling back down to, a 187, which we got there. But right now being sustained because as we broke below, obviously $2, public investors immediately got bought in, and because of the drag effect from Bitcoin, we're dragging back up. So I think right now it's not a bad dip, actually, because if you believe that Cardano has a long-term value proposition, the setup right now is not a bad setup because we're relatively oversold. So good setup right now, I would say. Solana is up about 2.9% right now, and at the moment right now we are forming a curvature downward. We are still at the 60 out of 70, so ideally buying at the, again, right, with the 135, which is a more of a substantive level. If we break that, and 113 would be the next substantive level, as we saw that match right here. But ideally, for me, if you're gonna incur any risk, right, anything above there is not really substantive, right? I think ideally buying back at the 66 or the 92 will be more risk averse, right? Because ultimately we're still running really hot, so we need to cool down for the whole market cycle to complete its cycle, and then oscillate back up from here. XRP right now is up about 3.25%. We're at the 45, so it's not a bad level, but I think ideally the dip was 93 cents, right? Which we got there. So that was the dip, and today is being sustained because of public investors and the drag effects from the overall coin market, right? So with respect to polkadot, right now it's up about 2%. We have a death cross, so more sell-off is imminent. We're at the 60 out of 70, so we're definitely going to sell down back to the 30 cents first, and then the 25 cents respectively. Algorand is up about 0.27% right now. We are forming a curvature downward. We're at the 52 out of 70. So ideally, selling back down again, right, to the 160 to 150 would be more logical. Shiba Inu right now is 65, so a very bloody day as expected. We're basically coming back to earth, but despite the 17% sell-off, we're still at the 73 out of 70. So we know how extremely dragged up right now, right? But I think the bullish momentum is still there because the MACD has not really crossed down yet. So we are still leaning up despite the lack thereof momentum that we're seeing on a bullish side. We're still overbought. So I think the sell-off is still going to be sustained. I think we're ideally coming back down to earth at the 2762. If we break that, I know we're going to definitely hover around this first. But if we break that, we're going to go back all the way down to the 800 from here. So, with respect to risk management level, these are the levels that we identify here as we deplete back down to earth, right? Right now, a lot of the coins are basically up in like midway to Mars, basically, or to Moon, if you may. And these are the levels that we identify as the RSI depletes back to below 35 and on a preliminary golden cross, right? And that's the perfect setup when you incur risk, right? Right now, I think collectively, even Shiba Inu is down about like 18% right now. It's still not a go per my risk aversion. I think it's we need to wait until it cools down to the next normalized level, right? And then if we break that consolidation level, which we have identified in the technicals already, we have a long way to go, right? So we have 2 long ways to go for us to deplete back down to 35. So again, like the 800 mark for Shiba Inu would probably be the more logical level. But that means if we get there, we are back onto the depression and anger stage, right? And do we see that severe of a sell-off? I think so, because whatever goes really, really fast comes down just as fast. It took us, how many days? Like 2 days, right, for us to surge, like collectively over 150%, right? So it took 2 days to get there. Let's imagine what happens in a week or like 2 days from now, especially the weekend is coming. So definitely still high risk at the moment, right? And ultimately we have to think logically and think, without, with the right mindset of how you risk mitigate, right? And I think the right level of risk mitigation would be to stay away at the moment, wait until the whole technicals to deplete back to normal level, and then incur risk from there. Okay, so really appreciate you for dropping by again, and stay tuned for some come up. Take care. Bye.